It's Unstable Topic with Sarah and Maggie. Please hold for an important message.
Hey, you've reached Sarah Adams. I can't get to my phone right now, so just leave me a quick message and I'll give you a call back as soon as I can. Thanks.
Well, hello, Sarah Adams. It's me, Maggie Reese Austin. And I just wanted to say how much I love the little flyer you made about us shooting and editing footage for events, for recaps or promos, because that's one of my favorite things to do with you is go to fun events, capture the spirit of it, edit a nice little video and reel, and send off to these companies and organizations so they have some beautiful content. So I'm just excited to get that up on the website and do more of it with you, really, honestly. It's kind of like working but not working because it's so dang fun to do. Okay, bye.
End of message.
Hey, welcome to Unstable Topics, a fast-paced, jam-packed, unhinged bestie podcast filled with facts, reacts, and made-up games in between.
We're your hosts, Sarah
and Maggie.
And we're excited for you to join our best friend hangout, where we surprise one another with things we find interesting or hilarious just to see how the other will react.
Our friendship might be totally stable, but you never know what your bestie might throw your way to knock you off your game.
So come shake things up, learn something new, and laugh along with us. This is Unstable Topics.
Hey, bestie.
Hey, bestie.
Something unstable I heard on the radio as I was driving home to record this podcast, which is basically radio and NPR, is that the Houston Dynamo won a match or won something important. I wasn't paying attention because I was so distracted by the team name Dynamo. And I find that to be the most unstable sports team name I've heard in a minute.
Really?
I don't like it.
Why?
Because what is a dynamo?
Dynamo, like it's a adjective, right? Something that Houston dynamo, like the dynamite. It's dynamo,
dynamite, but it's not dynamite. It's the Houston Dynamo, which is basically like the Houston Boom Booms.
Okay, so
the Houston Yippies. It doesn't make any sense. It needs to be like a
really
noun.
You feel like it should be a noun?
Yes.
What bothers me is that I don't know what the Houston Dynamo is, and you're not telling me, and so now I'm like, okay, great. The name is.
Well, what sport do you think it is? And then I'll tell you what I thought it was.
Houston Dynamo.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think a Houston Dynamo is a team of?
Soccer.
Yes, you guessed it.
Thanks.
I was like, this is clearly hockey because hockey is another sport that has dumb team names.
Wow, you are coming out blazing this morning.
I don't know. And the only reason I say that is because Canada, our old buddies, Kraft Mac and Cheese Canada, they're the Maple Leafs.
That's
right?
A noun, though. But that's a noun.
It is. It's a noun, but it's a silly one for a sports team.
Gosh, you have some bold opinions.
I'm telling you, it set me on a rampage.
I
was driving and I was like, I have got to talk to someone about this before I become completely unhinged.
But what did
I need you to ground me on this.
What did the Houston Dynamos win?
Some soccer game. I don't know.
It doesn't matter because it didn't matter. That's not the point.
But I'll tell you what they didn't win. The team name.
Your heart. They did not win your heart.
And they didn't win my heart.
What is it?
Dynamo.
What's their mascot? What does it look like? Did you do any more digging?
No, I literally rushed from my car to sit down in this chair, and I had to talk to you about it. Are you Googling it for me, please?
Of course I am.
What is it?
You're gonna hate this even more. It's similar to, I believe, it looks like it's black and it's orange, and it has an H that is orange and a D that kind of goes around the H. And that's
so it's like the HD. That's what they are. They're the Heather Dubrow Network.
Sure, but it looks similar. I think it looks similar to the San Diego Padres, the baseball team logo, because the way that the typeface they use.
So they're not even original, not even a noun. This reminds me, this made me think when you were Googling. So Carnegie Mellon University, I did a tour there in like an overnight because I was thinking about going there for college, for undergrad.
Uh-huh.
And I went, and two things bothered me. One was I was walking through like my host, and she was like, "Oh man, on like the weekends, this dorm gets crazy. These hallways are full." And I was like, "Oh yeah, like big parties?" And she's like, "No, everyone's studying, passing notes, getting wild, trying to figure out, solve problems." And I was like, "Okay, that's an interesting thing." The second thing was they were showing us school spirit, and their mascot was the tartan,
Like the plaid?
which is a plaid. And I think that's what this triggered for me. The dynamo
Maybe.
triggered
Well,
memory.
I have some follow-up information for you, Maggie.
Oh golly.
The mascot of the Houston Dynamo, it's Dynamo Diesel.
Oh, he's diesel. He's gas.
He's a fox. Dynamo
No!
Diesel, a fox. Yeah, so was
Why isn't the fox just named Dynamo? Why do they have to call him Dynamo Diesel?
This is where it gets more confusing.
Oh my
They
God.
introduced him back in 2010 at the Houston Zoo, but they congregated. They congregated near the prairie dog exhibit.
Okay, I feel validated. Thank you for sharing. I feel, you know what? This is unstable, and you have proven it through your deep research, and I feel validated.
Wow.
I feel validated.
There's a picture of Houston Dynamo Diesel. Also, when they're talking about Houston Dynamo, I'm curious if the dynamo includes the exclamation point, because when I'm reading this fact, it looks as if I can't tell if it's the end of a sentence or just part of the Houston Dynamo name.
Oh gosh,
This is all very unstable.
this is so awful. This is so awful.
Here's one more unstable name. My high school mascot. Mesquite Skeeters. Isn't that terrible? They were a mosquito. Which, to be honest, like in hindsight, that's a terrifying thing.
Honestly, that's the scariest of all. That is. And so, does mesquite skeeters sound real stupid? Yes.
Yes.
Is it actually, first of all, a noun, like a thing that you could be, that could play a sport in some sort of cartoon world? Yes. And does it make sense?
Wait, stop, pause. Is your criteria for mascot having to have this name of a thing, be able to play a sport in a cartoon world?
I added that caveat because I was thinking about how the tartan is technically a noun, right? Like it's a plaid. Like,
but could you just imagine like a plaid piece of fabric?
It could never play a sport. It could never.
It could be a magic carpet
that people ride on for a sport, but it could not play a sport. Well, you know what? Land of the free, home of the brave. You can be whatever you want as long as you're not Dynamo in America. Am I right?
Wow, this is a transition like no other.
How did you know?
How
could you tell them? Well, this is a transition. Sarah, are you ready for a fact?
I'm ready for a fact.
The 4th of July is America's birthday, but it also might be a popular death day. John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and James Monroe, each a founding father and president, all died on July 4th.
I did not know that. That is a unique and interesting fact.
It's kind of creepy, kind of spooky. Like, oh, we're going to sign the Declaration of Independence on this day, make this a really important day, and then die on that day?
Is it bad that I don't know what the time difference is between, like, what's the age, like the years between each death? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I don't think that's bad that you don't know that. I have no idea. That's a good research. I'll research that right now.
Should I know that they're all in different time periods, far enough apart?
They're all founding fathers. So
they should be all around the same age, but they all died then in not the same July 4th date, but on different years on July 4th.
You're gonna think this is wild.
What is it?
Because John Adams and Thomas Jefferson died on the very same 4th of July.
No.
July 4th, 1826.
Wow.
James Monroe lasted until 1831.
But died on July 4th.
But died on July 4th. But the very same 1826, July 4th. Oh no, news traveling. John Adams, founding father, has died. Breaking news. Thomas Jefferson also died. That would be a big day on the internet.
That's a big day. But there was no
Huge.
internet. How long do you think it took people to realize there was like a big situation happening? I mean, I would think months.
Yeah, probably until 1831. And then they were like, oh my goodness. And then it was like, and guess what? James Monroe is dead.
And they're all like, this is too much.
This is too much.
I can't handle all of this. Let's ban the 4th of July. They're like, no, but what about the hot dogs? Like, you're right.
Oh, we must have hot dogs.
That's interesting. Maybe, plot twist. What if instead of that, they were like, let's honor their deaths with hot dogs?
Maybe that's where it came from. I mean, I've done enough Googling today, so I'm not going to fact check that.
No, we don't need to fact check. That's a theory.
That makes sense to me. That theory makes sense. That it was like, we've lost 3 presidents on this day. We could call this Independence Day because that's the day that our nation was signed into decree or whatever, declared.
Sure.
Or we could make this a holiday about hot dogs because we lost 3 hot diggity dogs on this day. Well, Sarah, are you ready to react?
I am.
Okay, so 3 founding fathers and presidents all passed away on July 4th. If you had to pass away on a holiday, what would you hope to exit this world on?
Well, July 4th, obviously.
You would?
Yeah. I mean, to go down in history with other people of success, and there's fireworks.
That's true.
It's a big to do. It's a big to do. But this is a very morbid question.
Yeah.
And in decades to come, when someone hears this for the first time and they're doing their own fact, and they will see, wow, Sarah's thing came true. Like, I'm talking like many decades in the future, their facts
when historians,
because this podcast is living on forever in the
this is part of the public record. Yeah. So you do July 4th, have some fireworks and everything.
Yeah, what about you?
I'd probably do Christmas morning.
What a terrible time to die. Like,
everyone wakes up early. They're all awake. They all have this energy, and then they realize what a gift I was to them.
What would happen is every Christmas day before it's Christmas morning.
Christmas morning.
Terrible. Because now you're like, haha, suck your joy away and make this about me.
Every single year for the rest of your life, you'll wake up, you'll smell cinnamon rolls, and you'll think, I miss Maggie Reith Austin. She would have been here.
That's terrible. That's an awful. If there was a wrong answer to this, that's the wrong answer.
I really think there is no wrong answer, though. Unlike the Houston Dynamo.
It's me, Miss Patricia, and I'm going to give advice. Hi.
Hi,
Hello.
Miss Patricia. Hello.
So do we have a write-in question that I can help people with their problems?
We do. We do have a write-in question. I'm going to be honest. This is a question from me.
Oh, 2 times. Okay,
so
Maggie.
I'm pretty vulnerable here.
Well, Maggie, here's the thing. I just want to preface by saying I love helping you, but please note this isn't the Maggie and Miss Patricia minute,
show.
Okay?
I know.
I'm here for the people, and I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to write in, or what's the word that you guys say? DM.
Right.
DM
yes.
in.
Yes. But I'm glad that I have you, because Sarah and I just a moment ago had a disagreement.
Oh,
and
gosh.
So I'm trying to process it.
Please don't. Okay.
So I asked Sarah what holiday she would pass away on.
July 4th, obviously, is the correct answer.
Right. But I said Christmas morning.
What?
And she told me that was the wrong answer.
That is the wrong answer. Why would you do that to your family? Why would you want to ruin Christmas for your family. It's not about you all the time, Maggie. Is that your question? Is life always about Maggie? No.
No, Miss Patricia, there wasn't supposed to be
Ugh.
a right or wrong answer. We're not like playing this or that or something, It's just supposed to be like, how do you feel about it? So I thought that maybe anything could be the right answer
Well,
there.
Maggie, hey, look, I don't mean to judge, but I'm going to judge a little bit right now. Okay? Because here's the thing. There is right and wrong in life. There's this gray area at times. Don't get me wrong, okay? But in life there's right and there is wrong and gray and
Yeah.
sometimes off-white and sometimes a really deep shade of gray, like a
Yes.
slate.
Yeah.
But in this situation, Maggie, I think this speaks on your character. And honestly, I thought your character is in question.
I think I owe Sarah an apology.
Absolutely. You know what? You don't owe her anything. You don't owe Sarah
This
an
is a
apology.
surprising response,
No,
Miss Patricia.
here's what you owe your family who's listening to this podcast as we speak. And to be honest, maybe it's y'all's only listeners because I'm not getting any DMs. I'm not getting any messages from people asking me of questions and advice. So maybe it is. But you know what? If you want to die on Christmas, you know who's not going to listen anymore? Your family.
That's at least 95% of our listening base. Thank you, Miss Patricia.
You're welcome, Maggie. Next time, I hope I have a DM, like the kids say. You're welcome.
Sarah,
Yes,
are you ready for a fact?
I'm ready for a fact.
Though White Men Can't Jump is a popular movie and phrase, it is widely regarded as a non-fact because white men can, in fact, have their feet leave the ground. It is, however, a fact that elephants cannot jump.
Okay. At first, I thought there was going to be a fact about our boy Jack Harlow because Jack Harlow is in the remake of White Men Can't Jump, or White Boys Can't Jump, white people, whatever, can't
White
jump.
people,
And
more
I-
inclusive.
Yeah,
All white people,
all white people can't jump.
none of them can jump.
And I'm like, wow, I'm really glad she's bringing this back to Jack Harlow, our number one fan.
Your heartthrob, you love Jack
I love
Harlow.
Jack Harlow. What I was not expecting was somehow you were able to take that and make it about elephants. That blows your ability to combine two things that you don't think would go together and make them together. Like, makes you an exquisite chef of words.
Yes. That's a beautiful metaphor. I am honored to be a chef of words, filleting out these transitions into facts. I was pretty proud of that one. I got to tell you, sometimes my best fact writing is late at night when I'm just giggling by myself in the dark on my phone, typing away with my thumbs. And I was pretty proud of that. And because I was surprised that elephants can't jump, but I knew I could not just say, Sarah, did you know elephants can't jump? I had to give you some context.
I didn't need context. You can just tell me the facts, but you don't have to. You can take this as your outlet to combine things you wouldn't think would go together and make them. What's that word? Fusion.
Oh, a fusion.
Word fusion. You have Tex-Mex fusion or things fusion.
This was a fact fusion because it was like white men can't jump, but that's a non-fact. Trick alert. Here's a real fact, and it's about elephants who cannot jump for real.
Right. Which, good for them. Good for them for having boundaries.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
It's like, I don't want to, and so I'm going to tell you I can't. So if there's ever a situation where you're like, hey, Steve, elephant, I need you to jump this rail for fun. I don't know. Why would you jump? And Steve, the elephant, would be like, nah, dude, I'm good. I can't jump.
I'm really glad you clarified it was Steve the elephant, because when you said Steve, I was like, white man.
Right.
Steve, white man. In my head, I was like, she's talking to a white guy. But then you said elephant, and I was like,
Elephant.
they cannot jump for real. Well, are you ready to react, Sarah?
Yeah, absolutely.
So elephants cannot jump. Would you rather be able to jump over anything or limbo under anything?
Oh, jump. 100% jump. If I could jump over a house, I would be so cool, you know?
But then you could never limbo.
So that's a party game that I don't want to participate anyway. You know what? I'm going to be like Steve the elephant and be like, hey, this white woman can't limbo. It's a little known fact. The white women were never made to limbo. We cannot bend backwards in that manner. I'm putting it out there. Not limboing.
It's a fact.
Would you want to limbo?
No, I can't limbo. I literally cannot limbo.
Because you're a white woman.
Because I'm a white woman. I think this is the prequel to White Men Can't Jump. We should write White Women Can't Limbo. That's it for this episode. Wasn't that fun?
Now it's time for you to subscribe and follow.
And share this episode with a friend.
Ooh, maybe even your bestie.
Find us everywhere online at Unstable Topics. And for more antics, visit us at the Monthly Junk.
Bye.
Bye. Peace.